Hey pals, Josh here. Thanks for dropping in today. Got a quick one for you. I got a card in the mail, and it sort of is going along with this thing I've been having a lot of fun with lately, and that is sort of like vintage parallels, if you will. I made a little video about this, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, and this is me carrying on, having fun on a budget. And it's just been really freeing and fun to like find these cheap parallels, if you will. And so I thought I'd show some of those off today. And generally what I've been focusing on is versions or parallels or whatever you want to call it of a card that is important in terms of its season or a big moment. The kind of things I like to focus on in collecting cards. So, without further ado, I just thought let's go over what's on the board here. I picked this up, this one here, for just a few bucks at a show maybe 6 weeks ago or so here in Minnesota. This is, of course, the 1961 Frank Robinson. MVP season, sort of an iconic card as it showed up in the 1975 MVP subset for Topps, alongside Roger Maris, of course, which you see over here. We'll start with Frank. I just love this one, having been taped in an album at some point long ago, and for a few bucks, I just thought, hey, this is a perfect companion or parallel, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter to me. Parallel to my copy, my sort of nice copy, if you will. Although graded a lowly 4.5, I think it's a beauty of a copy there. This I've had for a long time. And let's see if I can get that back where it was. So yeah, this was just a lot of fun. I think it was $3, you know, or $4, $3 or $4. I know. I got it with a few other cards from a dealer at that show. Super happy to get that. And I guess I'll show. This is my copy. I've got these, by the way. I've got these in these Mag Pro holders. And I'm just so slow to develop the label. I'm so picky when it comes to that sort of thing. I've made some mock-up labels, and I just haven't landed on one I like yet, but I'm really excited to kind of finish that label design, or at least a sort of a basic template for the label design, so that I can label these cards. And I do plan on labeling cards like this one with the tape marks, kind of accordingly. I don't know what I'll call it. I don't know if I'll call it a tape parallel, but perhaps with tape or something to that effect. Something that I can keep consistent. So I don't know, if you have any suggestions, let me know. And why don't we start with this one? This has to do with the card I picked up. Hint, hint. Anyway, this is my copy of the 61 Maris. Now, I got this quite a long time ago, probably in 2018 or 19. This was part of the little mini slab collection I have going with my old man. You know, not perfect centering, but the image quality on this one is outstanding. The surface is fantastic, and if you've ever looked for this card before, beyond centering, the surface here, this dark surface, can just be super snowy on many copies, and I was willing to sacrifice a little centering for the quality of this copy, for sure. Now, this is a card I'd probably be happy with multiple copies of, honestly. It's such an iconic card. The MVP of course, alongside Frank, and having broken the Babe's record of 60 homers with 61 homers in 1961. We all know the story. So that's my copy as I zoom out here. Wow.
Do not adjust your video screens. This is an unintentional yet all too rare behind the scenes look at Peeps Wax Packs. Any questions about wood glue and moving blankets will not be addressed in the comments below.
So that's my graded copy of the 61 Maris. And I don't believe I've shown, I'm going to show a few cards I don't believe I've shown, companion cards. And Dylan is big on this MVP run, and I don't blame him. That's exactly what I look for, big seasons on cardboard. And so it made sense to pick up a cheap copy of the Topps Tiffany, the Turn Back the Clock. Again, shout out to Dylan and Adam. There's your Tiffany back. That sort of bright orangey pink combo. So that was this was a couple bucks at most, I think. And I remember coming across this one. This was probably maybe a year ago or so. And we've got the Turn Back the Clock buyback. It is the 65th anniversary Topps buyback. See the stamp there. With the same thing in mind. It was sort of like, I enjoy these big seasons on cardboard so much that I love parallels, and I love modern parallels, and this was a way to kind of look at it like, hey, what kind of parallels can we come up with for these cards, these vintage cards that we love so much. And this was the big one to find for sure, the buyback, although I know it wasn't that expensive. I don't remember it being, I don't know, maybe it was, I'd be surprised if I spent more than 10 bucks on this, maybe 15 at most. Anyway, I thought that was a nice one there. And the impetus for making this video is this just showed up in the mail. Beautiful companion, an original 1961 Roger Maris tape parallel. We've got the classic tape hinge on the right-hand side, top and bottom, and I imagine that was so that you could flip the card in the album and read the back and then just flip it back on over. I see that a lot with these tape cards. And this was less than the cost of a blaster. And I just thought, what a beautiful companion to such an iconic card. And it was a great little addition for very little money. So that's kind of how I've been enjoying the hobby as of late. Sort of focusing on some of the iconic cards that I do own, and maybe finding these sort of parallels, if you will, to enhance or complement those cards, like the cards that I already have. And I've got a few more sort of shows or showcases, I should say, on cards I have in my collection that are very similar to this. This is, I guess you could call this the first one. I mean, I guess I featured that Frank in a video before, but I've got a few more coming that I'm really excited about. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm up to lately. You can always have fun in this hobby on a budget. It's just a matter of how you look at it. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming by, and we'll see you next time. Take care.